in progress. Good morning, yogis. Namaste to each of you. Thank you for joining me today to honor your mind and your body and your spirit. Let's just take a moment to become present. Find yourself a nice, comfortable seated position where you can lengthen your back, lengthen the back of your neck. Sit up nice and tall, open up your diaphragm, allow deep breaths to come in. And then close your eyes. Soften your thoughts. Soften your eyes. Soften your shoulders. Soften your heart. Observe your breath as it is, soft and gentle, breathing life into you with each inhale and relaxation with each exhale. Feel the grace of being present, returning to that awareness again and again. You may open your eyes now. For this morning's intention, you may think of a positive word or phrase to have with you on your mat today, or perhaps carry with you throughout the day. This morning, the intention I'd like to talk about is the second of the Yamas. The Yamas being the first of 8 limbs of yoga, and then Yamas having 5 different components. This is the second, and it's called Satya, which is Sanskrit for truth. And truth is, if you think of it in your mind, it's kind of the more obvious one, that you understand and speak the truth, knowing fact from opinion. And you can think of that as integrity. And then truth in your body, knowing that everybody's body is different. Doing poses in a manner that is comfortable for you. So having the awareness in your body for the truth. And then truth in your spirit is to be true to yourself and live your truth with your actions and your words coming from your heart. When you're authentic, you have a feeling of empowerment. When you're inauthentic, it can actually be draining on you. And this can be summed up, the truth in your spirit can be summed up in the word authenticity. So a quote from Aristotle is, "Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom." So for today's pranayama, it was going right into a truth as well. This is something that a woman by the name of Emma Newland has said. One very simple way to observe truth in our practice is by paying attention to our breath. If the breath is strained or shallow, it's likely that the body isn't happy with what it's doing. So again, going back to the truth of your body, the awareness, being aware of your breath. And one of the breaths practices and techniques in yoga, actually it's kind of the breath technique in yoga. It becomes the soundtrack for your yoga practice. It's the Ujjai breath. And it's often called the ocean breath because of its sound, but it's actually, the Sanskrit translation is victorious breath. And the sound helps you pay attention to what your body's going through, because if your breath, that sound is heavy or shallow, that's the awareness that you're looking for to kind of figure out what your body's feeling. It also helps to quiet the mind. It slows the flow of breathing and helps to synchronize your breath with your movements. So to do the Ujjayi breath, it's, I often use the term Darth Vader breath because it has that sound that Darth Vader makes in the Star Wars movies. And that sound emanates from the back of your throat, the upper and back part of your throat. So to do that, you're going to use that complete breath, that the Deirdre breath, which starts from your stomach, goes up through your ribs, up to your chest, and then back from your chest down through your ribs into your stomach. So you're going to be doing complete breaths, not just the chest breath. And then if you inhale, let's start with exhale. If you exhale, it's kind of like fogging up a mirror. It's and when you inhale, it's that Darth Vader sound. So you do that, but with Ujjayi, you actually close your mouth. There's, I heard one yoga teacher said once, she says, you use your nose for breathing, you use your mouth for eating. So it's, your intention is not to breathe through your mouth, although I find that very comfortable. The intention is to breathe through your nose, but to hear that sound in the back of your throat, almost like when you're in a deep sleep or softly snoring. So just practice that a few moments. Okay, we'll revisit that breath throughout our practice today. And then for the meditation, there is a mudra that is about truth. And you take your hand and bring your thumb to the base of your ring finger. And that's called Tattva. And it reminds us that our true nature is unchanging, pure, and whole. So you can use that mudra for your meditation, or any mudra or not that's comfortable for you. And I'll meet you on the mat. You may open your eyes and we'll start our asana practice this morning. And we'll start by doing the seated sun breath, and you can continue on with your Ujjayi. Just again, focusing on the sound and synchronizing the movement to that sound. So you bring our fingertips to the mat with a deep inhale through our nose, and using the Ujjayi breath, bring our arms up overhead. And then lowering your arms with that Darth Vader breath on our exhale. Inhale, deep breath in. Exhale, deep breath out. Deep breath in, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. We're going to lift our arms up and do a sun twist. So bring your arms up overhead with a deep inhale. Twist your body to the left side of your mat and bring your right hand down on your left knee and your left hand down behind your hips. And then just take a deep inhale and exhale here, facing the left side of your mat. Then inhale, we'll sweep our arms up overhead, and exhale, twisting to the right side of the mat, bringing our hands down, left hand on the right knee, right hand behind your hips, facing the right side of your mat, and taking another deep breath. Inhale, exhale, and then inhale, sweeping our hands up, twisting over to the left side again, bringing our hands down with the exhale. Inhale, exhale, and then one last time, sweeping our hands up on the inhale. Exhale, lowering our hands, left hand to the right knee, right hand behind our hips. Inhale, and exhale. Coming back to center, I'm going to come up onto our hands and knees into tabletop. Bringing your wrists right below your shoulders. Fingertips are nicely spread out, gently pushing down into the mat, creating space between your shoulders and your ears. Knees are right below your hips. Navel's tucked into your spine to create a nice flat back. We're going to extend our right leg to the back of the mat. And then take that right leg and bring it over off the mat to the left side. And then gently turn our head to look at our right foot. And inhale, bring that right foot back to tabletop. And then extend your left foot down to the bottom of the mat. And focus on being square, having equal weight distributed in the front of your hands and your arms. And then you bring that left foot over off the mat on the right side. And then slowly and gently turn our head to look at our left foot. Inhale, bring the left foot back. We'll do that one more time on each side. Extend our right foot, squaring off our hands, equal weight distributed in our hands. Bring the right foot over to the left side of the mat. Slowly turn our head to look at our right foot. Take a couple Ujjayi breaths here. And bring that right foot back and extend our left foot. Equal weight in your hands, and then bring that left foot over to the right side of the mat. Slowly turning your head to look at your left foot. Couple deep Ujjayi breaths here. And then bring that foot back. And then we're gonna do our cat cow. So inhaling, we can drop our head or lift our head up, tailbone goes up. And then exhaling, we're gonna round our back, dropping our head down, dropping our tailbone down. Inhale, lifting the head and tailbone up for cow. Exhale, rounding the back, dropping the head and tailbone down for cat. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. And continue at your own pace, using that Ujjayi breath, deep inhales, deep exhales, synchronizing your breath to your movements. And then come back to tabletop. Bring your knees together, right in the middle, under your hips. And we're gonna do a couple of bird dogs here. So extend your right leg back up in the air. Feel your weight evenly distributed on your hands, and then lift your left arm up. And then inhale, pointing your toes. Exhale, flexing your foot so your toes are pointing to the mat. Inhale, point your toes to the back of the mat. Exhale, flex, toes pointed down. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. And one last time, inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Bring hand and leg back down. Knees are together underneath your hips, and then lift your left leg up, pointing your toes. Even weight distributed in your hands, and then lift your right arm up. Pointing your toes, inhale. Exhale, flex your foot. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. And if you're doing the Ujjayi breath and listening to it, it might get a little bit shallow at this point. Keeping your inhale, point, exhale, flex going. Inhale, point, exhale, flex. One last time, inhale, point, exhale, flex, and bring hand and leg back down. So bring your knees out to the edges of the mat. Big toes come together. We'll lower our hips to our ankles, come into wide-legged child's pose. Stretching our arms out front. Just bring your third eye or your forehead down to the mat. Relax for a moment. And inhale, come back up. Back to tabletop. Tuck your toes under and walk your hands back and come into a squat. And then push down into your feet, come up into mountain. So go through our mountain essentials. Toes are pointing to the straight edge of long side of your mat, or no, short side of your mat probably. They're straight, pointing to the straight edge of your mat. Lift your toes up and spread them out as wide as you can. And then bring your toes down, lifting your heels up off the mat. And then bring your heels back down. The legs are nice and straight and strong. Here's a gentle bend in your knees. Navel's tucked to your spine. Back is nice and long. Back of your neck is nice and long and straight. Shoulders are relaxed and rolled back. Crown of your head is reaching up toward the sky. Then we sweep our hands up overhead with a big inhale. And exhale, forward fold, bending at your knees to support your lower back, bringing your hands down to the mat. Take a few deep Ujjai breaths here. Feel any tension that you may have, being aware of your body, the truth of what your body feels right now. And just send those breaths to any tension that you may feel. Inhale, bring your hands up to your shins, half forward fold, straightening your back out so your spine is nice and long. Back of your neck is nice and long. And then bringing your crown down toward the mat for forward fold. And inhale, sweep your hands from the mat all the way up overhead and come up onto your tippy toes. Really stretch your hands up to the sky. And if you want to sway a little bit here. Deep inhales, deep exhales. And then lower your heels back down, come back down, forward fold. Again, you can bend at your knees to support your lower back. Inhale, halfway up, half forward fold, straightening out the back. Exhale, forward fold, bringing the crown down toward the ground. And then sweep your hands all the way up and overhead, bringing your palms together. And for supported side stretch, we're going to bring our right hand down to our right thigh and slide it down toward our right knee. And be aware of how your breath sounds here. It's probably feeling a little constricted. Bringing it back, your arm back up, lowering your left hand down, sliding it down toward your left knee. Inhale, come back up. One more time to the right. Right hand sliding down to your right knee. Inhale, come back up. And your left hand to your left thigh, slide it down to your left knee. And come back up. Exhale, forward fold. Bring your hands down toward the mat. Inhale, come up, half forward fold, flat back. Exhale, bring the crown of your head down toward the ground for forward fold. And bring your left hand in front of your left foot so that your fingertips are on the mat. You bend your left knee, keeping your right knee straight, and then sweep with your right hand all the way up to the sky. And you can follow your right hand with your eyes if that's comfortable. Forward fold with a twist. This will lengthen and ease out your hamstrings. And then exhale, bring your right hand back down. And then switch sides so that your right hand is in front of your right foot, right knee is bent, left leg is as straight as you can make it comfortably. Then sweep your left hand up to the sky, following your hand with your face, with your eyes rather. And then bring that hand back down. Sweeping both hands from the floor, from the mat, all the way up overhead. Bring your palms together and then bring your hands to heart center. And then bring your hands to the back of your hips for supported back bend. The fingertips pointing down. Feet are hip width apart. Shoulders are relaxed and rolled back. Chin is tucked to your chest. And then just drop your shoulders back. And if you try Ujjayi breaths here, this is going to really sound, you're going to be very aware of the sound here. The constriction, the effort. And then come back up. And we're going to bring our hands up overhead, big inhale. Exhale, forward fold, and bring our hands to the mat and step our feet back to plank. And then we're going to bring our knees down to the mat, so we're back into tabletop. So remember the setup of tabletop, your shoulders, or your wrists are right below your shoulders, pushing gently into your hands. Knees are right below your hips, navel's tucked to your spine. And we're going to do some knee to elbows in the tabletop pose. So we're going to do quite a few of these. So we're going to do up to a count of 10. You can go at your own pace. So first one, bring your right knee to your right elbow and back. Then left knee to left elbow and back. So that's 2, right knee, 3, left knee, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we're going to go from tabletop and kickstand our left foot outside of the mat and extend our right foot down to the bottom of the mat and come into a modified plank. Your left hand should be right below your left shoulder. We're going to take our right hand, sweep it up to the sky. So it's facing up to the sky, and then we're going to drop it over our head. So we have one line of action from our toes up to our fingertips. And then we're going to go from here into a gate pose. So you lift up onto your knee, bringing your right hand down to your right knee, sliding your right hand down your right leg, lifting your left arm up overhead, come into a side stretch. And listen to your breath, your Ujjayi breath. And bring your left hand back down, come back into modified plank pose with your arm extended overhead. So you create that nice long straight line of energy from your toes to your fingertips. And then come back up again into gate pose. Right hand goes to the knees, sliding it down as far as it's comfortable. Left hand overhead. And then back down to modified plank. Extending your arm overhead. And one last time up into gate pose. And then bring both hands down. We're going to come into a plank. So your wrists are right below your shoulders, legs are nice and strong, heels pushing back to the back edge of the mat. And then come down to the mat using the knees, chest, chin method. So knees come down first, chest, and then chin. We're going to extend our arms alongside with the palms facing up. Bring your head to the left side and rest it on the mat for reclined corpse pose. Or actually it's reverse corpse pose. Inhale, lift your head and bring your chin to the mat. We're gonna, keeping our hips on the mat, we're gonna lift our right leg up for half lotus, bring it back down, lift your left leg up, half lotus, bring it down, and then full lotus, we're gonna bring both legs up and both arms up. And bring those back down. Bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, fingertips underneath your shoulders, elbows tucked to the side, gently press down, come up into cobra. And then push all the way up so that you're in tabletop and then come down into child's pose. Sending your hips to your ankles, arms are stretched out in front. And inhale, come back up to tabletop, tucking your toes under, come up to downward dog, and slowly walk your feet up to your hands, coming into a forward fold. Sweep your hands all the way up overhead, palms together, bring your palms to heart center. And we'll do that one more time. So a little bit of tweaking this time. So inhale, sweeping our arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, bringing both hands to the mat. Extend both feet out to the bottom of the mat. And this time you can either come to tabletop and do the knees to elbows in tabletop, or stay here in plank and do the knees to elbows. So let's count to 10, starting with our right leg to right elbow, left knee to right elbow, that's 2, right knee to right elbow, 3, left 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then from here, you can either knees, chest, chin to the mat, or chaturanga, keeping your elbows tucked to your side, come down to the mat. And then bringing your arms alongside of you, we'll do half lotus. Well, actually, let's do our reverse corpse pose, and using our face, our right side of our face, resting it on the mat. We'll rest for a second. And bring your head up so that your chin is resting on the mat, or just elevate it a little off the mat. We're going to keep our hips on the mat, lifting our right leg up and then back down, left leg up and back down, right leg up, back down, left leg up, back down, and now both legs up, both arms up. And if you're able to sweep your arms out in front of you so that your palms come together over your head. Listen to that Ujjayi breath. And then drop everything to the mat. Bring your fingertips right below your shoulders. Elbows tucked to your side. Push down gently, coming up into cobra. And then pushing up to tabletop and then down to child's pose. Come back up to tabletop. Tuck your toes underneath and come into downward dog. And walk your feet up to your hands. Coming into a forward fold. And then sweep your hands from the mat all the way up overhead. Palms come together. And palms come to heart center. So the next phase, we're gonna do a little fancy footwork here. So find a nice comfortable spot on your mat. Your feet be about hip width apart, maybe a little closer. And then we're gonna just take one step back. So whatever size your foot is, just kind of bring your right foot back one length of your foot. And you're gonna bring your heel all the way to the mat if that's possible. You can angle your toes out toward the edge of the mat so that your heel's tucked in more 45-degree for your foot. Your left knee will be over your ankle, so there'll be a bend in that. So get comfortable in this. Your hips are going to be parallel with the top of your mat. This is what we're going to focus on are the hips here. And then bring that foot back to the other foot, back to mountain pose. And then we're going to take 2 steps back. So whatever that step was, you're going to double it. So maybe that's a little longer for me. Now your hips are going to open and point to the corner edge of your mat. Your foot can be angled at a 45-degree angle. Your back foot angled at a 45-degree. Front leg is still the knee over your ankle. Soft bend there. And that's what you see in Warrior 1. That hip open to the edge of the mat. And then we're going to bring our foot back so that we're back to mountain pose. And this time we're going to go 3 steps back. So you're going to bring your right foot back as far as it can go. And we're going to come into Warrior 2. So our hips are going to be open to the long side of the mat, as opposed to the corner or the front of the mat. Foot is at quite a bit of an angle now, back foot. Front foot is, your knee is over your ankle still, that lunge position. You should be able to see your big toe, or at least pointing your knee to the second and third toes on your foot. The knee and those second and third toes will be lined up. Hips are open to the long side. Sweep our arms up. Navel's tucked to the spine. Slowly turn your head to the left to look at the left fingertips. And we're going to do a warrior dance here. So we're going to lift our left arm up, dropping our right arm back for reverse or peaceful warrior. And then bring the left arm down to our left thigh, sweeping our right arm overhead, extended right angle. So again, you're gonna have that straight line of energy from your toes to your fingertips. We're gonna bring that back up again, switching arms. So you go into reverse warrior, peaceful warrior. And exhale into extended side angle. And then back up, peaceful warrior. and extended side angle. So these warrior poses we do are not to condone violence. Again, if you remember, the first Yama is all about nonviolence. That supersedes everything in yoga. But why we do the warriors is to cultivate the courage and the strength to live with the integrity, the awareness, and the authenticity of ourselves. So you bring this right arm down to the mat, twist into a runner's lunge, bring your left foot back to meet your right foot, bring your knees down to the mat, and come into child's pose. And back up to tabletop. Tuck your toes under, come into downward dog. And we're gonna do the reverse. We're not gonna walk our feet to our hands. We're gonna do the other way around. So we're gonna walk our hands back to our feet. And it's going from the mat all the way up overhead. Arms or palms come together and come down to heart center. And we'll do that on the other side. So we're gonna come into mountain pose. We're gonna come step our, actually, there's one more, time out. There's one more thing, and that's what we were leading up to, is back to mountain pose. We're gonna step our right foot back that one step, because we did the warrior one, we did warrior two footwork. And this is the footwork that sets you up for warrior three. So again, you're 1 foot back, your front knees bent, your hips are in line with the front of the mat, and you're gonna kind of pivot, leaning forward into your left foot, keeping that bend in your knee, that's important. Lift your right leg up and extend your arms back. For airplane, you can lift your leg as high or as low as what's comfortable for you. This is warrior three. And then come back down. Now we'll do that on the other side. So with our right foot stationary, we're going to bring our left foot back, about 1 foot step back. Again, that's just, keep that in mind for later. We're going to do that warrior three using this footwork. And then bring our left foot back to our right foot, back to mountain pose. Extend our left foot back 2 feet in back of us. Hips start to open. That's for warrior one. Knees in a lunge. Your foot starting to angle, back foot starting to angle out a little bit. And then bring your foot back, come back to mountain pose. And then we're going to extend our foot at least 3 feet back, coming into warrior two. So front knees over your ankles still, back edge of your foot is into the mat comfortably. We're gonna open up our arms, bring arms up to shoulder height, turning your head gently to the right, looking at your right fingertips. And then we'll do the warrior dance on this side. So inhale, coming into reverse warrior, lifting your right arm up, left arm goes down. And then bringing your right arm to your right thigh, sweeping your left hand overhead, bringing that nice line of energy from your toes to your fingers. Inhale, come back up into reverse warrior. And back down for extended side angle. Inhale, come back up. One more reverse warrior. And then one more extended side angle. You pivot, bring both hands down to the mat, framing your front foot, coming into runner's lunge. Bring your right foot back to meet your left foot, coming down on your knees to tabletop, and then down to child's pose. Come back up to tabletop, tuck your toes under, come up to downward dog. And then again, we're going to walk our hands back to our feet. Forward fold, and then sweep our hands from the mat all the way up overhead. Palms come together, palms come to your heart center. And then we're going to do our warrior three. So come back into mountain pose. We have our hips straight, parallel with the short edge of the mat. Step that left foot back, 1 foot length. So your back foot is planted firmly on the mat. Front foot is planted on the mat. There's a bend in your right knee. And then we're going to pivot, pushing ourselves toward the front, pivot on the right leg, keeping the knee bent, important. Parallel, hips parallel with the front of the mat. Lift your left leg up. You can extend your arms back. And sorry. Keep my knee bent. All right. So if you get stable, you're able to swing your arms out in the front over your head. We'll try that one more time. There. Any part of the pose is doing the pose. So there we have it for that. Bring our toes to the edges of the mat. Heels are tucked in 45 degrees. Hands to heart center, palms together. And then let's drop our hips down, bending our knees, coming into a wide-legged squat. And then bring ourselves back down to the mat. And you can either slowly roll back 1 vertebrae at a time, or express method, come back laying down on the mat. Bring your knees to your chest. Give them a nice gentle hug. Feels good after that warrior three. And just rock back and forth. Give your lower back a nice massage. And then we'll bring our hands to our kneecaps. I'm going to extend our arms all the way out, pushing our knees away from our chest. And then keeping our soles of our feet together, we're going to open our knees. And then draw our knees back toward our shoulders for a version of happy baby. And then bring our knees back together again over the chest. Again, push your knees away from you, extending your arms fully. Inhale, bring the soles of your feet together, opening your knees apart. Roll your knees back toward your shoulders. And then close your knees over your chest. You can do that at your own pace. And you can see which one to you feels more comfortable with an inhale or with an exhale. Using that Ujjai breath. And then when you're ready, bringing your knees over your chest, find that spot. Extend our arms out at shoulder height alongside of us. And then we're exhale, dropping our knees to the right side. And then slowly turning your head to look at your left fingertips for recline twist. Inhale, turn your head gently back to center. Then inhale, lift your legs back to center. And then exhale, lower your legs to the left. And gently roll your head to the right. Look at your right fingertips. And slowly roll your head back to center. Lift your legs back to center. And then extend your legs out to the bottom of the mat and prepare for Shavasana. Bringing your feet out to the edges of the mat and letting your feet just drop and relax, relaxing your ankles, relaxing your calves, your knees, muscles in your thighs, relaxing your hips, relaxing your lower back, relaxing your arms at an angle with your palms facing up. Deep breath in your chest. Inhale, exhale. Relaxing the muscles in your face, softening your eyes, placing a gentle smile on your lips. I have a poem this morning by Danna Faulds, and it's not titled, but here it is. Settle in the here and now. Reach down into the center where the world is not spinning and drink this holy peace. Feel relief flood into every cell. Nothing to do, nothing to be, but what you are already. Nothing to receive, but what flows effortlessly from the mystery into form. Nothing to run from or run toward. Just this breath. Awareness, knowing itself as embodiment. Just this breath. Awareness, waking up to truth.